Hello everyone. Thank you ever so much for attending the event today. My name's Dawn Woods and I'm the Workforce Transformation Lead across the Black Country and West Birmingham region. Could we have the next slide please, Stuart? Today, it would be really helpful, again, during the conversation, is if you've got any questions, you need to submit that at the question and answers at the end of this presentation. You'll be hearing from a number of colleagues today from across the acute trusts in the Black Country and West Birmingham region today. You'll be seeing a range of videos which will give you a flavour of what a healthcare support worker is in our organisations. You will hear various roles called clinical support worker, healthcare assistant, etc. All of these are the same as a healthcare support worker role. I'd like to say there's never been a better time to join the NHS. We have the people promise in place, and we have heavily invested in the health and well-being of our staff, especially during this pandemic, as well increasing the development routes for all staff. In order to support the communities which we serve, we're looking to engage and support those who haven't worked in healthcare previously, and we're able to offer development opportunities to undertake the care certificate. So please don't be put off if you haven't worked in care before. We still want to hear from you. This event could be the first step in your career path into healthcare. Again, as I've mentioned before, we'll be able to submit any questions at the end of this webinar. And also there's an opportunity as well to gain some further advice and support from NHS Jobs on applications and interview support. I'll now hand over to my colleague Cathy Brown, who's the Head of Education, Nursing and Midwifery from Sandwell in West Birmingham. Over to you, Cathy.
Thank you, Dawn. Hello everyone, I'm Cathy Brown. I'm the Head of Education at Sandwell and West Birmingham NHS Trust, and me and my team support a range of staff across the organisation, from support workers, student midwives and qualified nurses and midwives, with their learning and their career progression. For support workers in particular, we run a range of sessions that will help you with basic skills and competencies, so that you can increase your confidence if you've never ever worked in a healthcare setting before, and then so that you feel confident working in our ward areas. From then, you can choose if you want to stay at that level or whether you want to progress your career, and we have a number of different routes that you can go down. So things like becoming a nursing associate apprentice, which can lead to a higher level support worker qualification, but also could lead into a career with as a qualified nurse or midwife. And whilst you're a support worker, we can also support you to do your Access to Nursing course, which is a more direct route into nursing and midwifery. We are shortly going to be opening our brand new hospital in Sandwell, the Midland Metropolitan University Hospitals. So we're absolutely looking for new staff to come and support us in our journey once that opens. That should be opening next year. We're now going to see a video called Jack's Story, and Jack is one of our newly qualified nurses who started in the organisation as a support worker. We supported him through his Access course, and he's now recently qualified as a nurse. Thank you.
My name's Jack Rogan, and I'm a newly qualified staff nurse working on the surgical assessment unit at Sandwell. I was working as a healthcare assistant in the trust a couple of years ago, and I knew I wanted to progress, and it seemed like nursing was the natural next step up the ladder. So I applied and did an Access course at uni, completed the degree with my placements within the trust, and I've come back here to work now as a staff nurse. I was in my healthcare assistant role. I was supported by my managers to go and do my Access course. They allowed me the time off work to do that and work my shifts around it, so I had the flexibility to be able to go and do that. And I knew I wanted to do my placements here, so I applied at University of Wolverhampton to allow me to do that. Very different, it's a fast-paced environment, so we're constantly getting admissions and moving them on to the appropriate ward. It's really good because I feel like I get to put a plan in place alongside the doctors, start the treatment, and get the ball rolling for their care. Just being able to do your bit to help, really. It's been challenging starting my career during a pandemic, just in itself, really, but I think if we can all get through this, it will make us quite resilient nurses. You get a lot of support from your colleagues, especially when you're brand new and still developing with your competencies. I'm never afraid to ask any of my senior colleagues for help when I need it, especially if they're a poorly patient. They're always behind me, supporting me and asking me if I need any help, and I know I can always go to them with anything. They're very approachable. I think it's a great place to start your career as a nurse. I want to just develop in my role and become as competent as I can be, and then I'll go from there, really. I haven't got a clear goal, but I know there's lots of options in the trust for me to go down. But my ultimate goal at the minute is just to become competent as a staff nurse, and then wherever that takes me after that is anyone's guess. Hello, my name's Jack Rogan, and I'm a newly qualified staff nurse working.
Over to Karen.
Morning everybody, I hope you can see and hear me okay. Delighted to be able to join you today to share a little bit more information about the role of the healthcare support worker, or clinical support workers as we call them at Dudley Group. My name's Karen Lewis, I'm the Deputy Chief Allied Health Professional for the Trust, Deputy to the Chief Nurse and the lead for the Professional Development Team. And I worked at Dudley for 10 years, right at the beginning of my career. And then after a few years in Birmingham, was enticed back a couple of years ago. And I can honestly say I'm delighted to be back. Dudley has a really lovely inclusive community feel, which I think is something that we're really proud of, and something that you would feel absolutely if you joined us in the beginning of your healthcare journey. As with all NHS organisations, you'll be well looked after at Dudley. We've got a huge range of staff benefits and support. And as we're open 24/7, we're very flexible in terms of shift work and patterns, working patterns to ensure a good work-life balance. We're also committed to cultivating a really inclusive culture that values and actively promotes equality and diversity. And currently we've got 3 thriving staff networks led by staff members for disability, BAME and LGBTQI. So I don't know what the collective experience of people is attending today, but I just wanted to highlight that the CSW role centres around the fundamental care of assisting patients with washing and dressing, eating and drinking and personal care needs, and ensuring that our patients really are at the heart of the care we provide. It's a hugely rewarding role where you're granted the privilege of caring for people and their families when they're most in need, and that gives people tremendous job satisfaction. You'll be a key member of the nursing team, but also work alongside other healthcare professionals. And when I think back to my early career, it was often the CSWs on the ward who was the person that all the new starters and students gravitated to because of the wealth of experience that they built up in terms of caring for our patients. For other CSW roles, CSW roles are a platform to access the further training and development that we have on offer here at Dudley to progress to roles with more responsibility. And this slide illustrates some of those opportunities. Some undertake diplomas to attain Band 3 roles, others take up apprenticeships or train to become Band 4 nurse associates, while others go further and qualify as registered nurses. We also have other staff who've taken a sideways step into roles such as therapy support workers or working in our imaging department or in theatres. So we like to think this as the first step on your journey. You already know what your career ambitions look like, or this might be something that we can discover together. Next slide, please. So many of you may have no experience at all of working in a healthcare role, and that's okay because we're more concerned with attracting people who are kind and compassionate and want to care for others. So your values and behaviours are far more important to us than experience. We also look for people who are responsible, have the right attitude in terms of aspects of care such as respect and confidentiality, and understand things like infection control and displaying good communication skills. When you start with us, we'll support you to complete the care certificate, which provides all the fundamental skills and knowledge you'll need to be confident and competent in your role. And this slide just sets out those 15 standards that have both taught components and assessment in practice. So we'll support you through this, and you'll have support from the practice development nurses, but also mentors and assessors in your own area of work to complete these as part of your role. It's important to say at this point that Dudley Group isn't accepting applications today, purely because we're in the middle of the interview stage of a previous advert that went out at the beginning of January. But we very much wanted to be part of today's event, as we will undoubtedly be looking for recruits again in the future, and also to give you an opportunity to learn a bit more about the Dudley Group at this event. So I've got a video for you now, if you'd like to play, listening to some of the views of our staff. Thank you.
Are you caring and compassionate? Are you ready for the next step in your career? Are you thinking about returning to healthcare? There has never been a more exciting time to join the NHS family. We are recruiting now. We are expanding our services and we have opportunities for you. Look at our brand new 2-storey acute medical unit. You could be working here. Whatever role you choose or speciality you settle on, you'll be trained and developed in a safe, supportive and inclusive environment. We are recruiting now for clinical support workers.
I've been a CSW just over 8 years and I really do enjoy the job. It's the hardest physical job I have ever done, but it is the most rewarding job that I've done. When I started, I had no nursing qualifications at all, no care qualifications. I've never worked in a care home. I'd retired from the civil service, and once I'd retired, I decided I wanted to do something that I could give something back.
I've worked here for 4 years and it's a great career step if you're looking towards going to do training to be a nurse or a trainee nursing associate, or even going to work in theatre if that's the kind of thing that you wanted to do.
After all the time that I was actually working in insurance and offices, a friend of mine actually worked as a support worker and told me about the role and what it encompassed and the novice programme. I'd also lost my father, unfortunately, but the care that he received was absolutely amazing from the staff here at Dudley, and prompted me to want to do something and give something back myself.
The best thing is the patient care. They're talking to patients, listening to patients, and when there's patients at the end of life, it's holding their hands, but also holding the relative's hand. You can't get that experience back again, so we want to make sure that we get it right for that patient and for that relative.
Recently, in September 2020, I actually started as a trainee nurse associate, which is the next level and the next bridge between a nurse and a support worker.
My typical day on the day surgery would be a busy, fast-paced environment with lots of different patients needing different operations, seeing different surgeons, anaesthetic doctors, relatives, and getting people in and out of the ward safely.
I would really recommend the role of the clinical support worker. It's a lovely job, it's lovely helping patients and people, relatives as well, and I will say this, and I have said it, but it is the most rewarding job I've ever done.
You're always welcome, and nothing's too much trouble, and there's no such thing as a silly question, so we've got plenty of support from everyone.
So the Dudley Group is a very friendly trust to work for. It's very supportive, and I would recommend anybody looking to career change or come into this field of career to work for the Dudley Group as a clinical support worker. So if you are trustworthy, caring and empathetic, this will be the job for you.
Our talent is finding yours. We are recruiting now. Come and be a part of something special.
Thank you.
Thank you, Karen. Now over to Reese at Walsall Healthcare.
Thanks, guys. Glad you can join us today. Thank you for taking the time to entertain us giving you these details around our trust and around the position of a healthcare support worker as well. So I'm just going to introduce myself. My name is Rhys Hodgin. I am the resourcing team leader here at Walsall Healthcare. I've been here 11 years now. Fantastic organisation to work for. So I'm just going to talk to you guys a little bit about Walsall Healthcare as an organisation, what services we offer, also any incentives that we offer to our current staff, and a little bit about the role as a clinical support worker or healthcare support worker. So Walsall Healthcare, we provide local general hospital and community services just around 250,000 people within Walsall and the surrounding areas. As an organisation, we employ over 4,000 staff, and we pride ourselves on our diverse workforce and our underpinned values within our staff, such as professionalism, teamwork, respect and compassion. Walsall Healthcare as an organisation actually received outstanding full care on our last CQC inspection, which we are extremely proud of. But as I say, we're not only providers of the acute care in Walsall, we offer inpatient, outpatient within the manor, as well as a wide range of community services, as well as our state-of-the-art Trust Palliative Care Centre within Goscombe. The Walsall Manor Hospital itself, within the acute sector, we recently developed within the last 10 years and continually develop our services. We have invested millions of pounds developing our Pleck Road site, which was completed in 2010, but the continued upgrading is ongoing. We recently built our state-of-the-art ICU as well, which was completed last year. And we are currently in the middle of building a fantastic huge maternity block, as well as commencing work on our new £70 million accident and emergency department. So the role as a clinical support worker or healthcare support worker, the duties will include such as hygiene care, nutrition, hydration, continence care, as well as pressure area care. Also around mobility and rehabilitation with patients. As clinical support worker also offers psychological support to patients as well. For those who are new to care, the Trust will support you in obtaining your care certificate, which will enable and help you to undertake those key duties as a clinical support worker. So on the screen now is a sort of a diagram on the care pathways as a clinical support worker to nursing. So those who are new to care will be supported to obtain your care certificate, which is sort of like your level 2, and that duration is just over a year, around 13 to 15 months. Once the care certificate has been completed, we can then support you to then obtain your level 3 healthcare qualification, as well as completion of your functional skills, maths and English as well. So the duration of that will take roughly between 18 months and 2 years. Once that's completed, we then support you then to go into your level 4, which is your nurse associate training. And once you've then completed that, which should take around 2 years, we can then support you then to go to your level 6 training, which is your nurse degree apprenticeship. And that duration is between 24 and 48 months. And once completion of that, obviously you'll then be in a position to then become a qualified nurse. So the diagram on the screen is just a bit of a overview of the career pathway from a clinical support worker to a registered nurse. So why Walsall? So Walsall, we offer fantastic incentives and opportunities for our staff. We are proud of our diverse workforce. We pride ourselves on everyone having the equal opportunity to progress, to get the same opportunities as everyone else through the organisation, through continual professional development, flexible working options. But as a trust as well, we have the opportunity for any staff to join our trust bank with excellent pay rates, which will be additional to your substantive hours. The NHS as well as a whole offer a great pension scheme. And as a trust, we offer salary sacrifice on things such as TVs, laptops, any home electronics, as well as the car lease scheme as well. We also offer potential opportunities of rotational work within the organisation. So staff are not necessarily pinned to a particular specialty or an area. We can have an agreed rotational post where you can get more variety and more experience across the organisation as well. The trust has a comprehensive health and wellbeing service as well, which also includes a trust employee assistance programme to help you with any coaching or mentoring for any new staff via the onboarding process as well. So next slide, please, Stuart. So that's it for me. So there is a short video that I'm going to show you, which is about Walsall as a community.
Welcome to Walsall, the town we share.
Welcome to Walsall, this West Midlands town where,
regardless of difference in background or culture, we can share the same vision of shaping great futures, bright lasting foundations for our sons and our daughters. Welcome to Walsall,
the town that we share.
Welcome to Walsall, this West Midlands town where, diverse yet together, our voice won't be silent. And we'll learn as we grow, in the class or in employment, as we nurture prosperity and enhance our enjoyment.
Welcome to Walsall,
the town that we share.
Welcome to Walsall, this West Midlands town where, in laughter and pleasure, in business or leisure, we'll find wonderful moments that will bring us together.
Walsall में आने की खुशामदीद आपको.
Walsall का बखैर रखले.
Maybe the Walsall.
Witajcie Walsall.
Witamy w Walsall.
Mieszkała w Walsall.
Witajcie w Walsall.
Walsall خوش آمدید.
Welcome to Walsall.
Thank you, Reese. Now over to Rose Baker at Royal Wolverhampton.
Good morning. Hello, my name is Rose Baker and I'd like to introduce you to the team of RWT. So if we could have the video, please.
We are carers. We are specialists. We are committed. We are helpful. We are friends. We are a team. We are a community. We are always teaching. We are always learning. We are committed to professional development. We are here for everyone. We are looking forward to meeting you. We are RWT.
So who are we? We are the largest employer in Wolverhampton and we employ more than 10,000 staff in more than 350 roles. How are those staff working? They're working across 3 hospital sites. That's New Cross Hospital site in Wensfield, West Park Hospital in around the West Park, and then you've also got Cannock Chase Hospital in Cannock. We've then got more than 20 community sites where our district nursing and community services work from. We also have 10 GP practices that we have the pleasure of working alongside. As an organisation, we continually strive to improve the outcomes and experiences of the communities we serve. So what does that look like? Our staff go out of their way to make people welcome, and that is partially why we have several generations of families working within the trust. We make time to listen and respond to our staff, even when we are busy, because health and well-being of our staff is essential. Another priority for us at the Trust is the development of our staff, and we have an extensive offer of education and development available, which includes functional skills training, apprenticeships, supported degree and master's programmes, as well as in-house training. We want our staff to achieve their potential. We understand that our staff need a work-life balance, hence we have a range of flexible options in our employment. And these are just some of the reasons why we won recently the Best Diversity and Inclusion Practice Award and the Best UK Employer of the Year for nursing staff at the Nursing Times Workforce Awards. If you'd like to learn more about the Trust, then please go to our website. And if you want to join RWT, then please complete your application form as your first step in your career journey. And I would like to thank you for listening to me this morning.
Thank you, Rose. And first of all, thank you very much to everybody who's presented today. I hope you've all found that this is interesting and sparked an application from you all to one of the preferred trusts which you've actually seen. On the screen now, you will see some healthcare support worker interviews, which is support available. We acknowledge that actually the date has now passed. However, we do have links into the Princess Trust, and what we will be doing is after this webinar, we'll be sending you the update links and also the revised dates. The Princess Trust will be able to support you with your application form completion and also give you some interview techniques. And not only along with that, we will be sharing some information with via NHS Jobs, which talks very much about supporting how you fill out your application form. Next slide, please, Stuart. Now, what we would normally do is do questions and answers now. If you do, please submit these via the chat function as part of this webinar. These will be collated and then these will be forwarded back to you with answers shortly. Next presentation, and then now we need to look at next steps. So again, what I'd like to be able to do is to say thank you very, very much for attending the webinar today. We really appreciate the time you've taken to listen to us. And I would like to say a big thank you again to all of those who presented. Next steps for people who are actually on the webinar is that you will receive an email from Indeed, which identifies all the links of the vacant jobs which we've had or to apply. This will also include, as I've mentioned before, the information about the Princess Trust support and also in NHS Jobs. The task which I'm setting yourself today is for you to actually apply to one of those relevant links. And then from there on, once you've actually applied, what will happen is that each individual trust will actually process your application further for the recruitment process, which will include probably an online video and also an induction package if you're successful. Again, all I can say to close the webinar down is thank you so much again for your time and good luck with your application. Thank you.